Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 23, and it is time for my track ranking guide. In this video we're going to be taking a look at every single track within MotoGP 23, from modern day circuits to retro, and we're going to rank each and every one of them in today's video. Now I've got a few reasons on why I'm going to rank these, and I'll explain with every single lap. So without further ado, let's crack on with my least favourite circuit. That is Sepang. Unfortunately, yes, I am not a fan of the Malaysian circuit here in Sepang, but let me justify my feelings and why I'm not a big fan of the circuit of Sepang. Now, for a spectacle, for real-life MotoGP, I think it's fantastic, and it does usually offer some good, solid racing. For me, as a player, I just don't enjoy it. I'm not particularly good at this track, and I think that will probably weigh a lot of the reason why I don't particularly like this circuit. But the latter stage of the laps is just confusing to me. I don't particularly enjoy having these really long, winding corners where you get a little bit bored mid-corner and then expected to chuck it in a dime at any point. So, not a massive fan of Sepang. Honestly, there wasn't really any track in this game that I would outright detest, and there's no way I'm going to say in this video I don't hate it or anything like that. It's basically what I'm trying to say. Turn 9, for example, right here, is a fantastic corner. Love this corner. It's absolutely brilliant. The first part as well, turn 1 into turn 2 and then into turn 3. Excellent. I just don't care for this track. Something else I have to mention as well is the AI here are not fun to ride against either. In the Moto 3 class, they are ridiculous in this circuit. Not enjoyable in the slightest. They do some weird things in this circuit in the AI, even brake ridiculously early for the final corner, and of course that is my biggest gripe with this circuit. If you haven't touched Sepang in this game, then you'll probably not realise that this final corner is more or less broken. Going into this corner just does not allow the bike to turn in. It feels very strange, very unusual. That's basically why I just don't particularly like Sepang. So Sepang, last on the list. Moving across now to actually one of the circuits I really enjoy watching racing at, and of course Marco Bezzecchi taking a victory here last season, Termas de Rio Hondo, the hashtag Argentina GP. One of my biggest reasons with putting this so low on this list is basically because of the AI. A man who does career mode a lot, or a player that does any sort of racing really against the single player's artificial intelligence, it will let you know that this game is not great for this track. Going into turn 3, I have been taken out 3 out of the 4 times in my MotoGP career mode so far. Really difficult circuit against the AI. I like the track, I like the layout. Doesn't handle too bad. I'm not particularly a big fan of turn 3s where you can't turn the bike in. Very much enjoy the middle sector from turn 5 all the way up to about turn 9. And then the final corner is not something I particularly enjoy doing very well. It's not a bad track again as any means, but the AI is so bad in this circuit that I've had to put it way down on the list. If it was racing online, then I'd probably give this track a bit more leeway, but it's not fun racing the AI here, and for me, it has completely soured me on the Termas de Rio Hondo, and that's pretty much going to be a theme with a lot of these circuits. If the AI is good, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to have some fun. If the AI is utterly terrible, then you're going to see yourself towards the back end of the grid. We did see Sepang was a bit of a mixture because the AI is not bad in Moto 3, but I really don't like that track in the sense of me as the player. But we must move on to number 25 on the list, and this is Chang. I have a mixed feeling with the Chang International Circuit. For one reason, I want to say I like the track. It's somewhat unique. There's a lot of straights, a lot of unique corners, a lot of fast and flowing corners, but the straights kind of make it boring. You go onto this massive straight, and then you brake, and then you go onto another relatively fast straight, to then go into another couple of corners. It's not the most enjoyable circuit for me. I don't think it's a bad circuit. I don't think any MotoGP circuit is bad, but the AI here are terrible. They are terrible in the opposite of what Termas de Rio Hondo was. They weren't overpowered or too aggressive or knock you off every other corner. They are just useless in the final sector. Frequently they go too wide, they run off the circuit, they cut corners. It's not a fun track to race against the AI, and racing against online players in this circuit is not too bad, but I did notice a couple of times in racing online in the public lobbies, people cut corners without any penalties as well, so it's not a well optimised track here in MotoGP 23. Again, I want to reiterate, none of these circuits are bad, it's just the parameters and the reasoning why I'm judging the tracks the way I am. So, not bad, but yeah, it's not worst. It's certainly not the best either. 25th for the Chang International Circuit. Now, this one is a very difficult one because, to be honest, because of how overpowered the AI is in the Sachsenring, this should actually be the worst track on the list, if I'm going by that merit. But I do really like this circuit, and I really enjoyed the live GPs I've done in this track. I had a wet weather one, and I think I had a flag to flag situation at this very same circuit, and to be honest, I do enjoy it. I've had good times there. Even in Moto 2, it was very interesting with the riders crashing out and the AI going all over the place, but ultimately it's not fun when the AI is so overpowered. I play at 120% difficulty on every single circuit. Some are better than others, but if you want to keep a parameter without changing the difficulty, 120% is equals to esports lap times. A few nights ago, jumped on there, the AI did a 115. A 115. Esports players are doing 116s. I mean, I can't contend with the AI in the German GP. But the reason it's not last is because I do actually really like the circuits of the Sachsenring here in the German GP. But I don't think many people would disagree with my reasoning behind the AI being so overpowered here. It's just impossible. Really is. Just way too overpowered. So moving across now, this is number 23, the LeBron James or Michael Jordan of our list. This is Portimao. This was a tough one. I do really like Portimao. I don't think I'm particularly good at it, but I love this circuit. I think it's fantastic. But I have to mention, the few times I've raced here in MotoGP, the AI have taken me out twice out of 4 races. They're very aggressive and very clumsy. I've had some fantastic races online with the Aces and even in live GPs as well. But to be honest, there's still a lot of better tracks. Portimao is a good track, but it's not even the best of the Portuguese tracks in this game. It's solid. Tour VIP turn 5 is a little bit broken. You can't really turn in, so it kind of knocks it back a little bit for that. Any corners where you just can't turn in the bike just kind of annoy me really. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a tough one. I feel like sometimes I might come back to this video and I might put Portimao further up, but for now, with the current feeling I've got, the AI is overpowered in this circuit and they do make it not very fun. I do feel I could probably improve here a lot to actually be decently competitive, but I've got to judge it on those merits that I've already set out for myself so far. And you know what? Portimao's good, it is, but it deserves 23rd on the list. And as I say, guys, don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my list. And if you are going to do a list of your own, include the whole 27. Go for it. Let me know exactly what tracks you would put, where and why. And we'll have a good old chat with it in the comment section down below. But one thing I will say, turn 15, right-hander here, double right-hander, keep it on the right-hand side, is excellent. And turn 1 is also very fun here in Portimao. So across the line, and now it's time to look at the next track on the list, and this is Sokol, the Kazakhstan GP. Now this one is a bit unique because I find it very difficult to judge a MotoGP circuit when I've never seen a MotoGP bike race here. And for that reason, it's not really about MotoGP in this game or the track in this game, it's more so the fact that I just can't resonate with the circuit. I've never seen any action at this track and I've never seen anything, so it feels more like a fictional circuit for me. It seems decent, but with that in mind, it's not in the MotoGP calendar. I think it was in Moto 3 when you first initially played the game, so I played it then, but I haven't touched it in so long. It's a track I'm never inspired to touch, and it's a track that it seems okay when I play it, but I don't know. It's decent, but I can't really resonate with it. I hope that reasoning makes sense, but I guess it doesn't really matter anyway because it's just opinions. There's nothing here that's going to stop you from touching this track ever again. But I will come back to it, and I think I deserve... Well, I should give it a chance to fend for itself, and it deserves to have a chance to speak its own voice. But for me, right now, it's okay. It deserves 22nd on the list. I actually enjoyed playing this a little bit more than Portimao, but I also didn't notice any issues with the track. It was pretty decent. AI seemed okay as well. Yeah, not really as much more to say. 22nd for Sokol. So the next one now is the Japanese GP. This is Motegi coming in at number 21. Now this one is a difficult one because I actually really like the circuit of Motegi. I'm just not that great at it, and comparing Motegi in previous MotoGP games, I would say I preferred it in a lot of other games. There's a couple of tracks on this list which I'm judging by the merits on what they are like in MotoGP 23, if that's the purpose of today's video, but I can't help to think of how good I enjoyed it in MotoGP 22, or even in MotoGP 21. The AI here are rather aggressive and too good, to be quite honest with you. If you're going to keep your same difficulty level that you've been using throughout the season, you might find you might have to reduce it here. Just not so simple to work out what the AI is going to do. They are a little bit aggressive. I do like the circuit, I like the layout, and I think it's one of the best long-standing tracks within MotoGP, but I've played so many better versions of it, and I think that could be down to the way the physics are in MotoGP that really doesn't allow this track to shine. I find there's a couple of corners I just can't get on with in MotoGP 23 in this track, so apologies to the Japanese fans, nothing personal to the circuit of Motegi. Absolutely legendary track, love watching it on the television of course, but it deserves 21st on my list. And of course, if you're still here and you're still enjoying the video and you're not been offended by my list so far, then definitely get yourself subscribed. It's nothing but a bit of fun, and opinions are all that's in this video. Nothing to take personal offence if you do enjoy a particular track. However, apologies to the Americans. The wonderful, terrific, classic Californian circuit of Laguna Seca only scraped the barrel in 20th place. But I have a big reason for this. You can earn a second up to 2 seconds per lap on the AI on the hardest difficulty in this circuit. They are that easy. I was so disappointed because I had planned a cracking video to have a full race here against the AI. How would modern MotoGP riders cope here in Laguna Seca? Couldn't do it because the AI were just terrible. They were so slow. So for that reason, that does knock this track down so much. Saving grace, I do like the circuit, and I had some good live GPs at this track as well, but to be honest, coming back to Laguna Seca, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. The heaviness of these modern MotoGP machines with the aero and the pickup effects, it wasn't that fun for me to play. And even recording this video, I didn't actually enjoy it. I was tempted to put Laguna Seca further backwards beyond the list. And you know what? If I hadn't decided on making this video now and doing the time, maybe I would have put it behind Motegi. I don't know. Not a big fan. Apologies to Laguna Seca. But we move on now to number 19. This is the Paul Hardcastle number 19. This is Mandalika, the Indonesian GP. Now, couple of things with this one. The AI do make a lot of mistakes in this track. They're very slow in a couple of corners. Not bad, because it does even itself out in some corners, so it keeps it fun. But I have noticed a lot in live GPs and even in public lobbies, you can get away with a lot of track limit warnings in this track. And some of them are really egregious to the point where it could ruin your race. I like the track. I think the races we've had so far have been interesting as well. Of course, in MotoGP 2023 it was fantastic. It's a tough one because every single track from this point onwards, in fact, to be honest, all 27 tracks are so marginally different in each and every way. They're all great tracks. It's just I'm trying to rank them. So 19th for Mandalika should not be a kick in the teeth with the Indonesian fans. I actually like the circuit, but here, turn 14, I've seen way too many players cut that corner without any repercussion online. Repercussions need to be in order for the live GPs and everywhere else. Bear that in mind because that's going to come up again in this list. But Mandalika, 19th for now. Not a bad circuit, but there is better in MotoGP 23. And speaking of one circuit that is better, but not by much, it is the Circuit of the Americas. Oh, another gut punch to the Americans. I apologise. But don't worry, there's good things coming for the US fans. This is the Circuit of the Americas GP, number 18 on the list, COTA. Now, I actually like this circuit. It's not a bad track. It's just very long and arduous. It insists upon itself. It does not give up. You continue to push in every single lap and it just doesn't end. The fast lap times that come in here feel like an eternity. A 2-minute lap time for MotoGP is bizarre, honestly. It's a good track, I do like it, honestly, but it's just long and arduous. Really long. I much prefer shorter circuits than long and gradual tracks. It is good. The AI, unfortunately, are a bit weird. They do offer a good competition because they're equally as bad as they are strong in this circuit. So going into turn 12, they are terrible, but into the last sector, they're rapid and they can pull away from you in an instant, regardless if it's career mode, time, well, not time trial because the AI is not there, but in any solo racing as well. So it's all right. It's not the worst track in the world. 18th is certainly not an insult, so don't be offended. But yeah, the long nature of the track, the MotoGP races which were dominated by Marc Marquez, it's a boring track. It shouldn't be for the player because there is some great corners in this. The whole first sector is fantastic, but getting towards the end, it just feels like the track doesn't want to end. It just doesn't want to end. It just wants to keep on going. It just wants to keep on. So yeah, that's the reasoning for putting COTA down in 18th place. But yeah, now I think about it, could be further down on the list or maybe up. It's really hard to decide. But as I say, I've waffled for 2 minutes and the track is still not over. It's a long lap. Damn it. So moving across now, this is number 17 and it's for our Indian fans. It is the Indian GP. Now, why would I put Bud, however you pronounce it, down to 17th? Well, I would actually put it higher. I do like the circuit, I've had some great races, but where is the long lap penalty loop? Where is it? In my career mode, I got doused with a penalty for touching the outside of the circuit on the final couple of laps. I think it was on the penultimate lap, and I was instantly given a 3-second penalty. And to my surprise, there wasn't a long lap penalty. So for that, it's modern MotoGP with modern track regulations, and we don't have the long lap penalty in the game. So for me, I would have put this track a lot higher, but that is the big reason why I'm leaving it as low down as 17th. It's almost got to the halfway mark, so not too bad. But now I've come to this corner, I am actually reminded that the AI are terrible in this corner. They go so wide and then cut really wide, then go back in dead tight, then go wide again. The AI are not great here, but because they're not bad in this corner, they're good elsewhere. So you do actually have a bit of a tay-to-tay, a bit of a battle with the 120% difficulty AI. So I can't hate on the track. So yeah, maybe if we get an update, which is probably long gone now, but for MotoGP 24, get that long lap penalty loop, and you might crack the top 10. Get it sorted, Milestone. Get it sorted, Bood, and together we might reach the top 10. Not the worst track in the world, certainly not my favourite, but it's actually alright. So yeah, 17th place for the Indian GP. Moving across now to number 16, a circuit which I actually really enjoy, does have to have a mention for the fact that the AI are just terrible. This is the Red Bull Ring of Austria, this is the hashtag Austrian GP, and unfortunately, yeah, as I mentioned, the AI are non-existent in this track. They offer no challenge on the hardest difficulty in the game, so I've got to put it down further. I would have put this track guaranteed top 10. Guaranteed. But I can't ignore the fact that AI are shocking in this circuit. They are so slow, going into 2A and then into 2B, that I don't even see them ever again. I think the only time I see them is when I'm going into turn 10 and looking across. In fact, before then, maybe turn 7. That's the only time you will see the AI at this track. Saving grace of the Red Bull Ring of Austria is that I do very much like the circuit. The online competitions of races I've had here has been good. But also another little caveat to end the section for number 16. The long lap penalty in this game is kind of broken. You go into the corner, fine. You do the long lap penalty, and as you turn to the left on the exit, the bike won't turn. And it's caught out tons of people. I've been caught out by it, and probably you watching this on this television. I hope I'm on the big telly. Wherever you're watching it, maybe on your mobile device, you'll know it as well. It's not great. So unfortunately, the Red Bull Ring of Austria is in 16th place. But this one, this one hurts. I love Assen. It's my favourite track in MotoGP 23. However, the AI in this track suck. They are absolutely terrible. And only because I absolutely worship the Cathedral of Assen, the Cathedral of Motorcycle Racing, the absolutely iconic, legendary circuit of the Dutch TT, is simply because the AI is absolutely useless. I can't. I want to put this first, I really do. But if I'm judging other tracks by the merits of the AI's performance and the issues, I've got to be fair. And my beloved Assen, 15th. It probably deserves less, to be honest. Simply as well, I mean, the live GPs that have been ruined because of people cutting the final chicane is a huge problem, and another reason why this track has been dropped from first in its rightful position down to 15th. It's shocking. This part, turn 10, turn 11, before then, turn 5 for Struben, the AI is shocking. If you want to see what I mean, just check out my recent video for the MotoGP 23 career mode here in Assen. The AI were terrible. And the Giat Timmer chicane, final part here, everyone abuses this on live GPs. Apart from the aces, they're the only good people out there. Shout out to the aces. But yeah, sorry Assen, had to do it to you. You're down there in 15th. Moving on, this is another somewhat sad sight. I love the circuit of Estoril, and as I mentioned earlier, the Portuguese fans have the best circuit here. This is Estoril, this is the Portuguese GP. I love this track, but we've got a glaring weakness, and it has to be discussed. The AI are terrible. Again, this is another video idea that I had. I wanted to race here in Estoril as if the Portugal Grand Prix was replaced with Estoril rather than the Algarve. What would it have been like? But unfortunately, you can gain 2 seconds in the first lap. They're not bad until you get up to this chicane. Once you get to the chicane, you're talking a whole second and a half you can gain. So for that reason, I've got to put it further down. One thing I will mention, but it's not fair because this is the 2009 version of Estoril, there is no long lap penalty. Now, that's fine because it's an historical circuit. If it was the modern Estoril and it didn't have it, then there'd be hell to pay. But for that reason, we can't judge it on that. It's just important to note that the AI are too slow in this circuit. They're not fun to race against here. Time trial, excellent. Racing online, awesome. Aces Academy Cup went really well here as well. But I've got to be honest, got to judge it by those parameters we set off at the beginning of the video. So yeah, that's how it is. Estoril down there in 14th place. Moving across now to another sad sight. Putting Donington Park not even in the top 10 should be punishable by death. I have to be honest, the AI are terrible here. They're absolutely awful. They're just as bad as they were in Estoril, maybe not 2 seconds ahead, but you can gain a lot of time with relative ease. I think I did the video not long ago with Alex Rins that said modern MotoGP in Donington Park. And yeah, the AI offered no excitement whatsoever. It's a great track. I had some wonderful time in the time trial, which I got 3rd place or 4th, something like that, I don't remember now. It's a good track, it's just let down by AI. I want to like it, I do like it, I love this circuit, and I want to put it higher, but I've got to be honest, it doesn't deserve for MotoGP 23. If you're looking for a track that guarantees fun and excitement, you can get it in the time trial, you can get it online, but I wouldn't bother in a single player mode. If it was quick race, championship, not like it appears in career mode, but if it did, I wouldn't recommend choosing Donington Park for that reason. I love this track, but unfortunately, yeah, it's going to have to sit there in 13th place. So moving swiftly onwards, this is number 12, and this is Aragon, the Aragon GP. Now, this is an interesting one because in the past, I can't say I really enjoyed Aragon. From the previous MotoGP games, I would say that it was a circuit I didn't look forward to. The AI were always quite strong there, and I never was. But thinking about what we've been discussing so far regarding the AI, regarding how the track works in the game, I've actually got a lot of time for Aragon. It does play really well. And with the modern motorcycles, it works exceptionally well as also. Had the video a couple of days ago where I did Aragon in 2024, as it's now returning back to MotoGP, and the race was excellent. The AI were overly aggressive in a couple of corners, but they also made up for it for being too slow in the final corner. So you did have a good battle with the AI. So for that reason, I've got to show Aragon a bit of love. There is a caveat, and I'm not going to put this track higher up on the list than where it is, but the caveat being there is no long lap penalty, which is a bit of a shame because at this stage, long lap penalties were well and truly implemented. And Aragon from this version was taken from previous game, which was 2022. So there's no reason that we shouldn't have had the long lap penalty in it, but it does not work, or it doesn't even have it. So I think it has it, it just doesn't even work. So unfortunately, yeah, Aragon in 12th, I think's fair. Maybe would have put it a bit higher up because, to be honest, knowing that it wasn't in MotoGP 23 this year in the career mode actually made me miss it. And I kind of feel sad that I've missed it out in career mode for a while. But we'll move on to a track that has been in pretty much every single MotoGP 23 game, just barely missing out in the top 10, is the French GP of Le Mans. I really like this track. I do like it, I think it's good, and I think it's very solid in MotoGP 23, but the next 10 tracks I just like a little bit more. The one caveat I will say and why this one didn't make the top 10 is the AI can be a little bit too strong. In the acceleration points in the career mode, and even in quick race as well, they just get an unreal exit coming out of turn 8 for Garage Vert. They just absolutely bomb it out of there, fly into Shimano buff with reckless abandon, and they're already in the S-blurs before you even get that close. Really, really strong AI. As I mentioned though before, I do like the circuit. It's a track that I know all the corner names on, for example. It's a good fun circuit, but just deciding to put that over the next 10 is very difficult. So Le Mans, 10th place, 11th place, 12th place, it's very close with a lot of these circuits now, but 11th place is very fair. I think I'm happy with where I've positioned it. Don't get me wrong, this video has taken forever to make. Getting the clips and everything else wasn't too bad, it was just simply deciding what order it should go at. This could change next week, but current DrAce says Le Mans stays at 11th. We now move across to Valencia. This is the Valencia GP, the wonderful circuit, the final circuit of every single year in MotoGP. Is great. It's a good circuit. Do I have anything really negative to say about it? It's not. Nothing really, to be fair. It's good. The AI are quite aggressive, but it makes for really fun, hard-fought racing. The long lap penalty works fine, just as well here. Top 10, it's just so difficult now to put this one behind or above the next few. They're all so good. To even be in the top 10 is an excellent achievement for a track. I do find it very enjoyable. There's a couple of points I would say that I'm not as inspired to pick Valencia over the next 9 tracks, but it's still fun. We did the Ace Academy Cup here for the final round. MotoGP 23 as the final round as well. I even got the flag given to me by MotoGP at this very same track. But judging by MotoGP on the merits of the AI, the difficulty, those corners that don't let you turn in, it's good. Very solid. Turn 12 is really easy to navigate in MotoGP 23 compared to the likes of Ride 5 and 4. I don't particularly like this final corner, but that's the only thing I can really say. I think that's down to a skill issue more than anything else. But yeah, Valencia serves its purpose and does well for 10th place on the grid. Now we move on to another British circuit, so we have completely ruined the chances of having a British track on the podium, so there's no bias from me. This is the British GP, this is Silverstone. Now in the past, for previous MotoGP games, Silverstone wouldn't have even cracked my top 10. Now, in MotoGP 23, with the way the bikes handle, with the physics, with the feeling and the vibration of the controller, I felt a lot of enjoyment from Silverstone. I have a video which could have actually been uploaded yesterday, racing in this circuit in the career mode, and I had a terrific race. It was absolutely fantastic. Bear in mind that AI in the wet are extremely strong, which they are in every circuit, so I'm not going to knock any points off for that. They're very strong in the first split, especially going into Luffield and then into Woodcut, but they're quite weak for Maggots and Beckett's, so it does actually offer a very interesting opportunity to be back and forth with the AI, and I love that in this game. So for that reason, I had a really good time here. I had a cracking race in the Silverstone GP. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil the results for those who want to watch my career mode videos as well. But I do like the track. I think it deserves to be higher. Only one small fault, which is not even MotoGP 23's fault at all. I don't like the new start and finish straight. Send me straight back to 2019 of Alex Rins going around the outside of Alex Marquez, and then, Marc Marquez, and then the next lap going around the inside to win the race on the straight going into Woodcut. That, for me, was incredible. Battles going into Luffield was way more interesting than corners going into turn 17 and then into turn 18 here in Silverstone. If that changes, maybe then I'll change my mind, but for now, MotoGP 23 deserves 9th spot on the list. So now across to number 8, a fan favourite of many. It certainly was a fan favourite in Superbike 22, and that's probably the only reason, maybe not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons that it's only got 8th place, because I do really like this track, but I think ultimately I preferred it in Superbike 22. I did really enjoy it in that game, and it's the same track effectively, it's just how the physics make you feel with the bike and the track. It's a combination, it's a dance, it's got to be choreographed very well. If it's just you not feeling it, then it's not going to be as good. But with the pickup effect, some of the longer sweeping corners aren't as exciting. The AI here offer fantastic competition. They're a bit slow in a couple of corners, like Lakaisha, they're not very good. Final sector, they can be a bit weak as well. But ultimately, TV3 here makes this just an absolutely perfect track anyway. I love that corner. But it's a good track. AI are fun to race here. Get that rubber banding like you do in Silverstone, as I mentioned already. But there's one big flaw with this circuit, and it's exactly the same as the Red Bull Ring of Austria. Even Lakaisha does it as well. And if you're familiar with this track, you know exactly what I'm going to say. The bike will not turn in. You just can't turn the bike in. It's as if there's a small piece of something that's holding you up and will not let you lean in completely. Lakaisha turn 10 does it, and also does the long lap penalty. You go into that corner, you turn left, and the bike just goes straight. If that got fixed, then this would be higher on the list, but for now, current DrAce has 8th place for Catalonia. Now across to the night sky, we have Qatar, the Qatar GP, here in the circuit that for some reasons changed its spelling. Lusail International Circuit. This is Qatar. I like this track, I really do. And I was tempted to put it higher. Even sitting here doing the recording, I'm still not sure if I want it in 7th place rather. It's a good track. It's really fun. AI are a bit unique here though. Sometimes they can be really good and then sometimes they can be absolutely woeful. into this middle split here from Sector 1 to Sector 2, they are very slow. They do get a bit more pace towards the latter stage, but they do make a lot of mistakes as well, but it's a good track. There is an online bug as well. For any time you race online, on PC, I think it happens on console versions as well, the whole sky goes red. It just goes really strange. The lights come on, the lights go off, you get blinded with intense brightness, and then all of a sudden it goes nice and soft again, and you've got the night sky of Qatar. Very strange. It's a good solid track. I would ponder about if it needs to go higher, but to be honest, I'm sticking with the notes I've made. I'm sticking with the decision. I'll leave it in 7th place, but it's really good. As I say, this whole top 10 is just marginal between each ones, and the latter stages are now more about personal opinion rather than the AI being bad or good, because at these points, the AI is relatively good. You can guarantee a good race with the AI at a track like this. So coming out to turn 16, we get onto the straight, and that will end top 7. We're now getting closer to the important podium positions, but this time, before we get there, it's number 6. It is Phillip Island. Now, Phillip Island, a track that I've gone a bit back and forth on, to be quite frank with you. I used to really adore this track, and then I sort of fell out of love with it. I remember in Superbike 22 is where I've begun to get quite frustrated with this circuit, and I think I've held that small grudge all the way through Ride 4 and now up to MotoGP 23, but playing it more often, racing against the Aces in the Ace Academy Cup, doing a bit of time trial, feeling the rhythm, having terrific races against the AI in career mode, I'm all on board with Phillip Island again. And it absolutely deserves 6th place. It might even deserve higher up. It's just that the next few are just a little bit better in their own ways. I love the Miller corner. I love the MG corner. Lukey Heights going into that small downhill section. Brilliant. I do really like this circuit, and no complaints. Absolutely none at all. The turn 4 can be a little bit difficult. Sometimes you can't quite turn in, but there's no problems. There's no issues with Phillip Island. So for the Australian fans, for MotoGP, it's great. Absolutely awesome. Big thumbs up from me for Phillip Island, but we will now get to the top 5. So guys, hope you're enjoying it so far. Get subscribed if you are. Let's see what's in the top 5. We have the Italian GP of Mugello. I can't believe I put this in top 5. Because simply, there's been so many times that I have been bored and sick to death of this circuit. Every time you go online and Ride 4, Mugello. Every time you go online in Ride 5, Mugello. And every time you go on, you get the point. Every single time we go online in MotoGP, whatever it is, Mugello comes up. But doing that practice session, doing the MotoGP race, the career mode race not so long ago where AI just went absolutely crazy, I don't think I've had such a great time in a circuit for a while. I did the 20 plus laps or maybe less in the practice video, and I just found a really solid rhythm. It feels good in this game. With the pickup effect, it works extremely well. Couple of corners, yeah, it's a bit difficult, but Casanova and Cervelli, it works well in this game. The AI goes quite slow in there as well, so you're able to really go for some great overtakes. Overtaking there is one of the most satisfying things ever. I've got to just give it to Mugello in this one. They nailed Mugello in MotoGP 23. I really enjoy it. Arrabbiata 1 and 2. Biondetti 1 and 2. Correntaio, Bacine, San Donato. I know the track names. I love this circuit. That's how much passion I have for the Italian GP. It's a great track. It's difficult to not put it in the top 5, but I think it's warranted. So for that reason, 5th place for you, for the Italian fans, I think that's solid. But for the top 4, we have some surprises, because if you know what tracks have left, you might be surprised. This one, top 4, just barely missing out on the podium. I am talking a smidge. This is the Czech GP of Brno. I love this track. We, as the Aces, must race Brno on a weekly basis. Rhyming accidentally. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fabulous circuit. It is built for MotoGP. It's terrific. We've not seen it since MotoGP 22, of course, but actually in the game, as in the sense of a calendar for the career mode, it's been since 2020. I miss this track. It was a circuit I did look forward to every single time I seen it on the calendar, from watching at home in real life MotoGP to playing it in the computer game. Awesome. Really solid. I know what you're thinking regarding the long lap penalty, and as I mentioned earlier when it came to Estoril, this is taken from the 2009 version of the Czech GP, so therefore that is not a problem. One thing to mention though is that the AI are really good here. Not overpowered, but they offer good racing. I was doing a video with this track as well, which I actually haven't uploaded yet. I had a great time. It was really fun. Would love to see Bruno back in MotoGP. Might not happen with the Czech influence of no Karel Abraham, for example, not being in MotoGP, but it's really good. I could gush about this circuit all the time. Excellent for time trial, awesome online, great against the AI. Yeah, it should deserve higher up, it really should. It's a tough one, this one. It's really solid. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one. This is good. I hope you're enjoying the video, guys. As I mentioned earlier, don't forget to subscribe. And of course, join the Discord server if you want to be more part with the Aces and even get yourself registered for the next Ace Academy Cup coming up very, very soon. So let's get this across the line and then let's check out the top three. Coming in third is another historical circuit. Rejoice, American fans! Third place goes to Indianapolis. Now, if you know me, if you know my feeling on the old oval circuits, then you must be thinking DrAce has gone mad. But this is not an oval circuit. It's a circuit in the oval, so it's not too bad. But this is Indianapolis. And you know what? This track feels magnificent in this game. I don't know what it is, but it's a welcome embrace. It's a brisk handshake from your best friend. It's a hug. It feels great. I absolutely love this track. Wet or dry, I have had a terrific time every single time I've put Indianapolis on. It's one of the biggest surprises of MotoGP 23 for me. I can't believe how good this track is in the 23rd installment of MotoGP. It's solid. Really, really good. The AI offers some good competition as well. They're not too strong and they're not too weak. I actually had some good racing here, gathering footage for today's video. I like it a lot. I can't believe it. I'm as shocked as you guys are. It is really good. But the one thing to mention now, before my voice gets too hoarse, we have just 2 tracks remaining. And if you're wondering why my lap time is significantly faster, I did the video with the wet weather practice in this very same track, which I also discussed in that video how much I loved this track. But for the final 2, we are now on to the penultimate choice. This is the San Marino GP of Misano. Brilliant track. Absolutely fabulous circuit in MotoGP 23. I felt that possibly the heavy nature of these modern motorcycles with all the aero and the pickup effects in MotoGP 23, I felt that this circuit could suffer, but it doesn't. Not at all. This is great. This is absolutely excellent. The AI are really good here, but not overpowered. They also go a little bit too weak sometimes into Tramonto, but they're not too bad. They're also pretty weak. In fact, no, they're more weaker into Quercia than they are into Tramonto. But this whole sector here, they're not that strong. They get a bit stronger going into turn 10, 11, 12 and Caro. But to be honest, I enjoyed racing them. And I can't wait to do it in career mode again, which will be coming up very, very soon. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's a magnificent circuit. Every single track that this game's been on, it's finished in my top 5, top 3. It's a great circuit. It's absolutely wonderful. So, Misano, keep doing what you do and keep being good in MotoGP 23. But be better, because you didn't quite get first place. First place is reserved for just one more circuit. And you may have guessed it by now if you know your tracks in MotoGP 23. But if not, I'll reveal it to you now. This is the Jerez de la Frontera circuit. This is Jerez, this Spanish GP. I love this track. I have had some of my best races here in Jerez. Now this A little bit of bias in this one, to be quite honest with you, because I know I mentioned the AI earlier, that sometimes they are too weak in this track and sometimes they're quite strong, but the majority of the time, this track goes as thus. They're strong in the first split, they weaken down for the Dani Pedrosa corner, they then get stronger going into turn 7 and 8, and then they start to calm it down as they get into Pelliqui, then going into Ferrari and Crivier. Yeah, that's the difference between this track, and playing this track on the hardest difficulty, doing live GPs, racing against the aces is some of the best fun I have in MotoGP. It's the circuit that I look forward to every single time on the calendar. It's excellent. I made a very strong note to make sure I read out when I did this video, and that is one quote: guaranteed a great race every time. That's what I wrote, and that's, you know what, that's how I feel about the Jerez circuit. Guaranteed it. Never not had a good race here. Amazing. Guys, we're 45 minutes in, 46 minutes in now, goodness me. Thanks for staying if you watched the entirety of this video, that helps a lot for the algorithm. But more importantly, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, let me know your list, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.